Okay, so the first question, we just have to simplify. So simple questions. Yeah, 3a minus 4a, so minus a plus 8b. Yeah, that's the answer. Okay, and so for this question, the second one, uh, yeah, a field ABC is in the shape of a triangle. AC is equal to 500 meters and BC is equal to 650 meters. Using a ruler and compasses only, complete the scale drawing of the field ABC. So the scale is 1 centimeter is equal to 100 meters. So yeah, we have to divide it by 100, which will be 5 centimeter and 6.5. So we have to use a compass and take 5 centimeter. I have to draw the arc. So the point at which the two arcs intersect, from there we have to just join the points. And make sure that the arc is visible because that's what marks. Okay. Yeah. So third question, Rankin buys 3.6 kgs of potatoes and 2.8 kgs of leeks. The total cost is $13.72. Leeks cost $2.65 per kilogram. So we have to find the cost of 1 kg of potatoes. So we first yeah, for 1 kg of leeks it's 2.65. So we have to do 2.65 multiplied by 2.8, which will give 7 point what yes, 7.42. uh yes, and then yeah, we can do it that way, or we can also like subtract the cost 13.72 minus 7.42, and then find yeah 6.3 for so basically it's $6.3 for 3.6 kgs of potatoes. Yeah. And so for 1 kg, we have to divide it. So by 3.6, it'll be 1.75. Understand? Or would you want
Any
me to
questions?
repeat? Okay, no one. Okay, I guess everyone understood because no replies. If I have to repeat it, then we have to find the cost of 2.8 kgs of leeks and then subtract it by the total cost to find the number of costs for 3.6 kgs of potatoes, and then divide that by 3.3 to find it for 1 kg, which is 1.7. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, graph. So Aisha records the distance she runs and the average speed. The results are shown in the scattered diagram. The table shows the results for 4 more runs. Uh,
I guess for this one, if
Let's
there
scroll
aren't any
down.
special problems for this one, we don't need to draw it because it's just plotting. But if there
Yeah,
is anyone who needs help, you can tell us in the chat.
yep. So what type of correlation is shown on the scatter diagram? Is it's a negative correlation.
Yeah, well, you can see that because of the way that it has a negative
Yeah,
gradient. If you draw a best fit
yeah,
line, you will be
the
able to see that.
yeah gradient is negative.
All right, then that is the
So
next question.
I don't think we have to draw the mm,
Yeah,
kind of
we can
best
just
fit,
tell
but
you that it's very clear
yeah,
here where the best fit will be. There are 10 points total. So we have to make sure that 5 fall on either side of the line. And this, when you use that, you can
okay,
just use the plotting to find out the answer for this one. All
yeah.
right. Nitesh, please continue.
Okay, so the fifth one, yeah, we just have to estimate it. So we have to
Wait,
round it
there's a
off to
question in
one
chat.
significant figure. Oh, what's correlation?
Correlation
It's
means
like,
that if something happens to one of the factors, how is the other one affected by that? So, like a negative correlation is most probably inversely proportional, something like that.
okay, so we just have to round it off to one significant figure, and so 50 minus 10 divided by 4.085, so it'll be round up to 4, 4, and then 2.35 will be round up to 2. So we solved that, it'll be 40 divided by 8, which is 5. Yes, the answer is 5. Okay, so we first converted to uh proper fractions by, yeah. So uh, we multiplied 2 into 3 plus 2, which will be 8 by 3. 8 by 3 multiplied by 11 by 4. Yep, 88 by 12, and it simplifies to 7 1 by 3. I mean, we first divided by 2, and then we have to use the normal division method. It'll be quotient and reminder by divisor. It's like QR by D in the mixed fraction. So the answer is 7 1 by 3. But we also have to show those steps, I guess.
All right, so in this case, when we do the working of 88 by 12, it's a bit complicated to show over here. So it's going to be something like 88 divided by 12, where the closest whole number is going to be 7. So 12 sevens is 84. The remainder is 4. So our answer is going to be 7 whole, 4 by 12. And if we can simplify this, it's going to be 7 whole, 1 by 3. Is that clear?
Yeah. Okay, so make X the subject of this formula. Yeah, we just take 7 to the other side. So 2y plus 7 and 5 to the other side. So uh, 2y plus 7 divided by 5. X. Yeah. Everyone clear? next question, the eighth one.
All right, let me just get started on question number 8. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7 are all common factors of two numbers. Write down the digit that the two numbers must end in. Okay, so if they are the common factors, factors means the numbers that make up the final product. So if we multiply all these numbers together, we get the value 210. So that is the most probable answer because they're saying are all factors, right? So we have to include all of the numbers. And in that case, the answer is 210, which means that the final digit is 0. Then the next question is write 84 as a product of its prime numbers. Okay, to do that, we have to take the LCM of 84, which we can take very easily. 84, 2 multiplied by 42, 2 multiplied by 21, 3 multiplied by 7. All right, and to write that as a product, we can write it like 84 is equal to 2 times 2 times 3 times 7, which is equal to 2 square times 3 times 7. Let me know in the chat if this is clear. Yeah, well, there are multiple methods to do this. We can also do by the tree diagram, but we don't need to. Okay, let me go on to the next one.
Yeah, so for the ninth one, okay, increase is 40 by 300, so it's 40 into 300%, and percentage means by 100, so 300 divided by 100. We can just cancel out the zero, so it'll be 3, so 40 into 3.
All right, so I think and not all the syllabuses, when they're teaching this, they show this method. But actually, there's another method for percentage, which is final is equal to original plus or minus the percentage times original. All right, and if in this case we insert all the values to get the final, for 40 by 300%, we're going to get 160, all right? And the easiest way to do this question is by just finding out which answers, in which case we're getting the same answer. So that will be 40 multiplied by 4.
Okay.
All right, for that question, you need to find out first, initially, you need to find out what the final answer is going to be anyways. So you're going to use this formula that I've written. Final is equal to original plus or minus, depending on increase or decrease, the rate percent multiplied by the original.
Yeah, in this case, it's an increase of plus.
And in this case, we already know the answer and we're just finding out which option matches our final answer.
So we have to substitute and find out which one.
All right, let's say if we use this one, all right. So our answer would be is equal to 400 plus 300%. 300% of,
Wait, 400?
yeah, because that's the original amount. Sorry, 40. My bad.
Yeah, 40, yeah.
40 plus 300% of 40.
Yep.
And in this case, the answer that we get is equal to 160, if somebody can confirm that. Phantom, can you check your own working if that's the answer that you're getting?
Yep, it is 160. So we substitute. Yeah.
Yep.
In the calculators and
Yes, and now we just need to find out which value is matching the value that we've gotten here. and it's 40
Yeah, so
times
in
4.
this case, only 40 times 4 is 160, hence that's the answer. Okay, fine. Abhisma, you can take over the vector.
All right. B. Ahmed finds the magnitude of the vector 2 minus 3. From this list, put a ring around the correct calculation. All right, to find the vector calculation, we just sum their squares and take the square root of that. So in this case, this is the correct answer. Okay. Ahmed finds the magnitude of the vector 2 minus 3. From this list, put a ring around the correct calculation. All right, to find the vector, there's a very simple solution that we do. We take the sum of their squares. So if we had to write it on our own, the sum of their squares, 2 square and negative 3 square, and we take its square root, and which is the same as this one. And now you might see, let's just find out the problems in first ones. Here, they don't have a bracket around minus 3. Here, they have no square root. Here, what's the problem here? All right, because they're just directly taking the square root without adding them. Distance formula for which one?
Wait, no, that's not the distance formula.
No. Do you remember if you're studying physics, then you should know about the Pythagoras theorem that we did when finding the resultant vector. If it's a right-angled vector, do you remember? Yeah, and in that case, when you want to find the hypotenuse, you use the base and the perpendicular, take a square, and take the square root of that. Let me know if that's clear. Yes, exactly. Magnitude.
Yes.
All right, we can move on to the next one.
Then question, a town, wait, 130 was, yeah. Okay, so a town has a population of 45,000. The population increases exponentially at a rate of 1.6% per year. Yeah, the formula P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power E. So we substitute the values and yeah, it will be yeah, because nearest 100, so we have to round off around. So 48,770, so it's the nearest 100. Yep.
Question number 11. Now, this is a tricky one. I've seen this multiple times in the mass chat. All right. The diagram shows a rectangle with a line of symmetry at x equals to 2. Two vertices of the rectangle are at minus 1, 1 and minus 1, 4. The shaded region is definitely defined by the inequalities a is less than equal to x, is less than equal to b, and c is less than equal to y, is less than equal to d. Find the values of a, b, c, and d. All right, so this is actually quite a simple question. In this case, first we have to consider a. as we're taking the x value, so it has to be on the x-axis, and it says that x is greater than a, right? So all the values of x, all the region x is greater than a. And in this case, it will be -1. We're doing October, November 2020, paper 2-1. All right, let me know if the first point is clear, and then I'll move on to the next one. Okay, I see it clear, and I'll move on. Okay, then the next point is B. So we need to obviously, if that is A, we need to find out the position of B. And B is going to be here most probably. Now this is very simple. Let me just zoom in to solve this question. Okay, now what's it saying? It's telling us to find the end vertex of the x value when this line of symmetry is at 2. So the difference of 2 with -1 is the same as the difference of 2 with b. So if we see here, it's going to be 2, 1, 0, -1. So there are 3 points between here. So it's going to be 3, 4, and b is equal to 5. Okay? All right, I don't think there's a problem, so I'll move on to the next point. Then now the next points they're talking about are C and D. So C is, of course, is going to be the lower point, the lower y-axis point, and D is going to be this. And these points we already have. They are equal to 1 and 4 because they are part of the vertices that are given to us. All right, I'm about to move on to the next part, so let me know if there's a problem in this one. I'll repeat. Okay. See here, let's start with A. So A is smaller than X, meaning that all values of X are greater than A. Or you could just take it like this, if this line can start the region of X and A is less than X. So this side, the open side of the less than sign is facing towards X. So all the values of X are going to be on this side and A is going to be on this side, right? If you want to consider it as a graph. So A is going to be the smallest value of X for the shaded region. And in this case, it is -1 because it was in the given vertices, all right? And B is the largest value of X. So we use the line of symmetry to find the value because the distance of the line of symmetry from -1 will be same as the distance of point B from the line of symmetry. All right. And as for the y points, they are already given in the question, 1 and 4. So C is, of course, the smaller value, so it's going to be 1. And 4, which is D, is going to be the largest value.
Last one, the interior angle of a regular polygon with n sides is 156. So work out the value of n. So we all know that 360 by the exterior angle will give the number of sides. So we can just do 180 minus 156, and we can divide that by 360. So we can do 360 divided by 180 minus 156, and which should give the answer of 15. So it's 15 cents. Uh, yeah, 1 second. It's the other way around, actually. It's 360 by, uh, yeah, 360 by 24, basically. Okay, so moving on to the next question, which is 13 to 1. Okay, first we write x is equal to 0.1777. Yeah, and then we write 100x is equal to 17.77. 777, yeah, and then the recurring cancels, but this thing remains, so it should be uh yeah, 16. We could have also done it by just doing 990 and such. Okay. Okay, yeah, I guess this also works. So 16 by 90, and we simplify it, which will be 8 by 45. Do you mind repeating again? We multiply it by 100, basically. So 0.177 is the, yeah, is the actual recurring decimal, and then we multiply it so we can subtract it and make it into a fraction. And the reason why it's 90, because we are subtracting the, okay, the 100x minus 10x or something. Okay, find the gradient. Yeah, can you do this question? This one.
Yes, of course, I will continue this one. Okay, find the gradient of a line that is perpendicular to the line that has the equation 8y plus 4x equal to 5. Okay, first of all, the first thing about making an equation, it should be in y equals to mx plus c form, where the coefficient of y has the coefficient 1. All right? It should be 1. It can be 8y. So in this case, we have to make it, is the final equation is going to be y is equal to 5 minus 4x is going to be in the numerator, and in the denominator, we're going to have 8. All right? So we can also write this as y is equal to minus 4 by 8x minus 4 by 8x plus 5 by 8. All right? So now that we know that minus 4 by 8 minus 4 by 8x, it can also be written as minus 0.5, which is equal to m1, the first gradient. All right? And in order to find the gradient of a line that is perpendicular to this line, we have to do m2, which is going to be the gradient of the line that is perpendicular to this one. M2 is equal to minus 1 divided by m1. So the answer is going to be m2 is equal to minus 1 divided by minus 0.5. So m2 is equal to 2. I'm going to be waiting if there are any queries in the chat. Okay, we have a repetition. Okay. First of all, we found the gradient of the line equation that was given to us, which is not going to be 4x, not the coefficient of x, but rather is going to be the coefficient of x when the equation is in the format of y is equal to mx plus c. All right? And to make that, we have to make sure that the coefficient of y is 1. And we did that, and then we got the equation y is equal to minus 1 by 2. If we simplify it, x plus 5 over 8. Now we know that the gradient of this equation is negative 1 by 2. And in order to find the gradient of the equation that is perpendicular to this one, we're going to divide this one by negative 1. So it's going to be negative 1 divided by negative 0.5, which is equal to 2. All right?
Yeah, because in perpendicular lines, the gradient of the one
We're
line and the
making
other line on
y1
the side will
to make it in the format of the equation of line, which is y equals to mx plus c.
we are basically rearranging the equation to get it into the format where we can find the gradient and use the formula.
All right?
So is that clear? Yeah, okay, I
Okay,
guess that's
so we
clear.
have a little time left. So we're just going to do the questions that somebody has problem with. So I'm going to scroll through. Just let me know if there's a problem in any question. Question number 15. It's just speed time graph. For the deceleration,
Yeah,
you're going to find the gradient. And for the distance in the speed time graph, you're going to find the area under the graph. And then just get the difference. All right, then we have a factorization. You can use any of the methods here. You can use midterm breaking or the
That's
quadratic
yeah.
formula. Then we have functions. If anybody needs help with that, please write it down in the chat. Okay, f of x is equal to 3x squared plus a, where a is an integer. F minus 2 is equal to 19. Okay, so we can make this when f of minus 2 is equal to 3 minus 2 to the power of 2 plus a. So what we did here is we just replaced x with minus 2. So, and f, as we know, f minus 2 is equal to 19. So we already have the solution for this function. 19 is equal to, if we solve 3 minus 2 squared, so 2 squared is 4. 4 3s are 12. 12 plus a. So the answer of a is equal to 7. Okay. I'll be waiting for your reply, Ruby. All right, in that time, we'll move on to the next one. G of x is equal to 2x plus 7, and h of x is equal to 3x minus 8. Find gh of x in its simplest form. Okay, so what we have to do here, the number that is in the first place, which is, sorry, the element in the first place is g. So first, let's write down the equation of g. 2, we leave some space for in place of x, plus 7. And in place of x, we're going to input the h equation, which in this case is 3x minus 8 and equals to 2 3s are 6x minus 2 8s are 16 plus 7. So our answer is 6x minus 9. Let me know if that's clear. All right, great. Okay, next one is find the inverse of g function. Okay, what is the inverse? Inverse is just finding, well, the inverse. All right, so it's going to be a bit more clear when I solve it. So the easiest way to solve these types of question is to equate the function to y. So let's say y is equal to 2x plus 7. And now we have to make x the subject of the formula. So we can do y minus 7 Or in easier ways, we can switch x and y. So we can write x is equal to 2y plus 7. And now we have to make y the subject of the formula. So it's going to be x minus 7 and divided by 2 is equal to y. So the answer of the g inverse function is x minus 7 divided by 2. Any questions? Part A, all right.
Sure.
All right. Okay, so what we did here. First of all, we know this function, right? F of x is equal to 3x squared plus a. So function, what is function? In place of x, we insert the corresponding value. So when in place of x in the function there was minus 2, in place of x in its solution, we're also going to input minus 2. So we can write it in another way, which is 19 is equal to 3 minus 2 to the power of 2 plus a. We just wrote this function again where the value of x was minus 2 because we already know the solution of that equation when f of minus 2 is equal to 19. And then we just further solved it. Question number 18. The diagram shows a solid made from a cylinder and a hemisphere, both of radius 7 centimeter. Work out the total surface area of the solid when the surface area A of a sphere is equal to 4 pi r squared. All right, this is simple enough question. Okay, so if the area of a sphere is equal to 4 pi r squared, then we're going to take half that area and it's going to be 2 pi r squared. But we also have to have the curved surface area of the cylinder, which is equal to 2 pi rh, 2 pi rh. But we also need to add the bottom of the cylinder, which is just simply pi r squared. Okay, now we're going to input all the values is equal to 2 pi r is equal to 7 square, 2 pi r square plus 2 pi r h. What my point here is we know h is equal to 12 centimeter, r is equal to 7 centimeter. You know the rest of the working. So the final answer is just going to be 990 centimeter square. Okay, I'm gonna scroll through the questions now and just let me know if there is any problem. Question number 19.
Makes sense. Okay.
Oh, 19. Yes, we have somebody who needs help in 19. Okay,
So
this is actually a very interesting question. Okay,
yeah,
there's
it's
a
actually
very
easy.
easy way to do this. I'm pretty sure most of you have heard about the tick cross method. All right, so in that method, what we do whenever union is included, we use tick or cross. Like where just remember this for now, and I'll explain what it means further. In intersection, we use where they are both present. Okay, and how do we do it? First of all, let's take the places which counts as M naught, okay? So it's gonna be this, 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 and this, all right? And then we have the places where N union P, where N is being combined with P. So again, it's gonna be this, 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 this. All right? And now that we're doing union, In union, wherever any of them is present, we can mark that area as shaded. But if in case this was intersection, we're only going to shade the areas where both of them are present, like this or this. Does it make sense? All right, great. I'm gonna scroll to question number 20 now. Let me know if there's anything you need with it. Circle theorems.
Yeah. So a cyclic quadrilateral, so the opposite angles are up to 180. So we just have to do a 2x plus x plus 60 is equal to 180. Wait, someone wants to explain the 19th question again.
All right. Okay, there's this method we use that's called the tick cross method. Like if it is a union term, but which we have in this if we have a union, which we do have in this condition, we're going to shade the area where x or tick is present. But if we have an intersection, we're going to use the area where both of them are present. So in this case, what we're going to do here is we take all the areas that counted as M naught, which is like all the areas outside here are M naught. Let me just do this again. Take here, take here, take here, take here. All right. And then for N union P, we shaded all of N and all of P. So it's gonna be this area, this, and etc. And now we shaded, and as we were doing union, so we're going to shade all the areas where it has any tick or any cross. So we're going to shade this entire area, this area, this area, this area, this area, and etc. The only area that's not going to be shaded, I'm going to color it green, is going to be this area. This is the only unshaded area. All right, because we're using union, so all of the elements that we gather, we're going to combine them. Is that clear, Lords? All right, great. Now, let me know if you need any help in question number 20.
We can use different boxes, right? We can use different shades on it.
I'm sorry, who is this?
Hello.
Oh, hello. Do you have a question?
So, for finding the like shading this area region, we can use different Venn diagrams, right? Like separating
Yes, of course. Yes, that
yeah.
is also one of the most amazing methods. All right, so in that case, what you can do is first you shade the area that is M naught, which will be everything besides this lonely guy, everything here, and then you can make another diagram. Okay, so in this case, we're separately representing both diagrams. This one will be for M naught, and we're going to make another one for M and union P. I get what you're saying, and yes, Dev, you can use that method.
Yeah, but
So in this
the
case, we're gonna
downside
shade
is
all
that
this.
it takes more time to do it separate.
Yeah,
I mean,
and your paper is gonna
once
be a
I
dirtier.
quite yeah, once I quite confident with sets, I don't think you would have to do that. I mean, initially, yeah, it's probably
But if you have like
advisable or
time after exam, I guess you could use
no.
that method to check your answers. That's a very good method to check your answer. All right, anyone for question number 20?
Yeah, so a brief way to explain it is that opposite angles are up to 180. So we do 2x plus x plus 60 is equal to 180 and find x. So 3x plus 60, 180. And then we substitute that x in 4x minus 87 plus y is equal to 180 and find y. If it's clear, then we can move on. Or if not,
Yes.
then we can annotate.
Yeah, I think it's clear. Question number 21. Any help needed, please write down in the chat. 21. All right. Okay, question number 21. The diagram shows a cuboid PQRSTUV where PV is equal to 17.2. The angle between the line PV and the base TUVW is 43. Calculate PT. All right, first let's straighten out our facts. We know that this line is equal to 17.2, and this angle, the one between the line and the base, is 43. And now we can reshape the diagram to our ease. As it is a right angled, you can draw it like this, 17.2. And here we have 43. So what we have to do here is find PT, which is this one. We can label it X. So now we can just use the trigonometric ratio, perpendicular over hypotenuse, which is sine. Sine of 43 is equal to X over 17.2. And in this case, if we solve for X, our answer is going to be, if we want to reconstruct it first, it's going to be 17.2 sine 43 is equal to X, and X is equal to
11.73.
Sorry?
11.7.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyone for question number 22? Yes, so here, if you can see it, if you can visualize it, this is forming a right angle triangle, right? And we know that PV is equal to 17.2, and the angle between PV and the base, which is this angle, is equal to 43. So we just redrew that triangle to our ease, in which is just a straightforward right angle triangle with the hypotenuse being 17.2, the base, the perpendicular is X, and X is equal to, with theta is equal to 43. Yep. Is it clear now? All right, great. Okay, now we can move to question number 22. If there is anyone who has a problem with it, please let me know in the chat. Well, everyone knows that the first method, the first step for simplification is taking common or factorization. So x is common in the first statement, x squared minus 5x. So we're going to take x common, and it's going to be x minus 5. Divided by, in 2x squared minus 50, what we have in common is 2. And the remainder is going to be x squared minus 25. So now we have a statement, this one, which can be further simplified. And we can simplify it separately first, just for the sake of our working. So x squared minus 25. Now these both numbers can have a perfect square root. So we can write these as x to the power of 2 minus 5 to the power of 2. And the final answer, we can reconstruct this term. When you have a term which says a squared minus b squared, you can write it as a plus b, a minus b. Let me write that formula here.
Yeah,
A
it's
squared
identity
minus b squared is equal to a
square.
plus b,
A plus
a
B.
minus b. So now that we have a plus b, a minus b formula, or a squared minus b squared formula, we can write this as x plus 5 times x minus 5. So we're going to input this in our equation here. It's going to be x multiplied by x minus 5 divided by x plus 5 multiplied by x minus 5 And if you can see, we have a common factor in both of in the numerator as well as the denominator, which is x minus 5. So we can cut that, and our final answer is going to be x over x plus 5. Is that clear? Oh, sorry, it's going to be x divided by 2 times x plus 5, because we took 2 common in the first step. Going to move on to question number 23. Now, this is an interesting question. All right, and that's just the last part of that question. So I guess we're done for the day.